Welcome to July, the second half of the year 2022. Last time I told us that this month of July will be dealing with peer pressure. Teenage is a developmental phase where teenagers relate more with friends, with peers, than with families. Not because they dislike families or because they want to rebel, no. But it is part of the characteristics of this developmental phase of life. At this age, there is need for identity, self-identity. There is need for them to evolve into who God has made them. Just like we have butterfly. At a stage of the development of butterfly, you see a butterfly, at that time it's just a cocoon. Is inside is inside a cocoon, is in a chrysalis stage, whereby it's just stagnated, and after some time the butterfly will emerge. The same way, teenagers during teenage, they are trying to evolve, they are trying to develop, to form identity, and in order to successfully do so, they must relate with their friends, not just only being within the confines of the family. They must leave the safe nest of the family. They must relate with friends, they must relate with peers, and as they are doing so, a lot of things interplay. One of such is peer pressure. By way of definition, let's separate the two rather. Peer is somebody of your age grouping. It may not be exactly the same year, but within the same bracket, with maybe few years before or after your own. That's a peer. A peer. The same thing, PER, that's what I mean by peer. And pressure on its own is application of force. If you have ever used pressure pot, you will understand what this means. Is the force inside the pressure pot that makes the cooking done speedily. So when we say pressure, we are applying a force. The force in this case may be subtle and may be physical, depending on the situation at hand. So putting the two words together, peer pressure now means a force or a pressure applied by people, a person or a group of persons within your age bracket. So that is what peer pressure means. Now, peer pressure, by way of clarification, doesn't have to be negative, because usually when we say peer pressure, mind usually flies to negative peer pressure. Peer pressure can be positive, peer pressure can be negative. Peer pressure is said to be positive when people of your group, they are encouraging you, or they are applying a sort of force to push you to success, to push you to limelight. Maybe you are the kind of person that you are reserved, you are timid somehow, you don't like talking or expressing yourself outside. You would rather talk by the side to your friend, and you have a group of people that when you voice an opinion within them, they will push you out to say it. This usually happens if you are the kind that maybe you are gifted, maybe you are a good singer, but you would rather sing in your corner, and meanwhile in your school maybe there is a social day, or there is some, maybe the end of the year is coming, and they are looking for those who will showcase their talent. And some of your friends, your peers now, they know you are gifted, and they have heard you sing before, and they know that when you sing, people will be blessed. They can push you forward, they can encourage you, and cheer you to success, cheer you to do so. Before you know it, from being a shy person, you become somebody who is bold and who is expressive. That's a positive peer pressure. or you are the kind of person that you want to be in a particular place, in a particular, maybe you want to go for a program, an excursion that is an educational trip, and you don't know that you don't you feel you will be left out, and your friends dey just come around to help you, to mingle in a positive way, to join in discussion, or you are in a team, you are always reserved, always looking, meanwhile you have idea, and your friends they are always pointing to you so that you will voice out your opinion, and they are encouraging you for the good, for the good self of in you to come out, to begin to speak out, to become somebody who is good in public speaking, because actually there is nobody who doesn't need public speaking skill, regardless of the profession you may be. Whether you think, I will be a medical doctor, I will only be treating patients, why do I need to be a public speaker? You may go for a conference and you be asked to deliver a paper, that is speaking in public. Anything can happen. So your friends may discover that you are very good, that you have, maybe you have good command of English, and you are highly articulate, but you are timid, you are very reserved, and your friends are pushing you to begin to speak. They are pushing you to speak, beginning with the assembly, to speak on the assembly, and all that, until you overcome the shyness, you overcome the timidity, and the good part of you begin to come up and begin to blossom. That is a all the things I've said now, they are examples of positive peer pressure. However, on the flip side, there is negative peer pressure, because when you hear positive, the opposite is negative, and where there is positive there must be negative. Otherwise you will just say peer pressure, and you won't say positive peer pressure or negative peer pressure if it's just one type. Negative peer pressure is the common one. When people say peer pressure, that's the one that people always think about, and is the one that is dangerous to a teenager or to anybody. Positive peer pressure is actually very good. Everybody needs it, because nobody is an island. Everybody needs somebody to help him or her to get to the limelight. Nobody reaches stardom without the help of one person at one point or the other. So positive peer pressure is a very good one. However, negative peer pressure is the opposite of all that I've said. Negative peer pressure, by way of definition, is a force or pressure you feel when your friends or your peers are putting pressure on you, or mounting pressure on you, applying force in a subtle manner, in a direct manner. Maybe they are outright, they want you to do something that you know is wrong, something that is against your principle, something that is against your upbringing. These things happen a lot, and that is why we are talking about it. Negative peer pressure can lead anyone, and especially teenagers, to pitfalls. A lot of girls have become victims of teenage pregnancy due to negative peer pressure, because of one thing that they have heard before, because of what their friends have told them before. But we leave that till next week. I just, this time around, we just deal on characteristics of negative peer pressure. I have defined negative peer pressure as pressure or force that is mounted or applied on one person to do something negative. This force or this pressure doesn't have to be somebody carrying cane or somebody carrying weapon. It can be through words. It can be in a subtle manner. That's why I'm trying to tell us the way it happens. It may be in a subtle manner. It may even be in a persuasive manner. Why don't you try this thing? No, now it will not harm you. Everybody does it. Actually, if you don't do it, that's what makes you a deviant. Those are subtle pressure. Not that they will say, if you don't do this thing, I will beat you. At times it may happen. Physical pressure may happen where people gang up to set trap against a particular person. That is a physical and outright one. But a lot of time those that the physical one is not very common. Not that it doesn't happen, but it's not very common. The one that is very common is the subtle one, using persuasion, using talk. Because as I said before, teenage is a period when a teenager moves and relates more with friends than with families. And through this relationship, discussions go on. A lot of discussions. And in the course of discussions, informations and or misinformation happen. Informations that are not true, information that are misguided, that can misguide somebody, they happen, they take place a lot during this period of teenage. And that is why as a teenager you have to be very careful. Or if you are the parent, a stakeholder of a teenager, you just have to be knowledgeable. There is a need for parents, for teachers, for any stakeholder of teenager to be highly informed, to be aware of this developmental phase. Know what happens to them. Teenagers face a lot of pressure, enormous pressures. That is why parents of teenagers must watch and guide their teenagers. You must watch the friends your child or your teenager keeps. Because they say, show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. The kind of friends your child moves with will determine the outcome of that child. So you just have to be careful. Then you as a teenager, you know what you have been brought up with. If you are a Christian, you have been imbibed with the principles of the word of God. Regardless of your belief, even if you are not a Christian, I believe even other people too, they teach their children on the principles of God. But here you are with your friends telling you otherwise. You just have to be careful. You just have to be careful. So generally, negative peer pressure is applied in a subtle manner. If it's outright and violent, a lot of teenagers will not be victims because it's easier to avoid something that is obvious. But something that is subtle, that is not obvious, that's the one that is very difficult to avoid. Because a lot of times you will have become victims if you are not careful before you realize what is going on. That's why you have to be very vigilant and highly observant. If you are the vigilant type and you are the observant type, you will most of the time you will not be a victim of negative peer pressure. This is where we will draw the curtain today. Next week, by the grace of God, we will talk about how people become victims of negative peer pressure and what you can do to avoid being such, to avoid being a victim of negative peer pressure. These are the things that we will deal with in our next episode. So make it a date with us on Teen Talk with Ola. Remember, Teen Talk with Ola is your weekly tonic that gives you skills for exploit, both in the now and in the future. So before we draw the curtain today, I would like to remind us to like this page, follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and and subscribe to our page on YouTube. And if there is anything that you would like to ask, clarification, question that is bothering any question that is bothering your mind, do not hesitate to contact us on thingsworldwithola@gmail.com. Thingsworldwithola is one word gmail.com, or I see great future @gmail.com. I see great future is also one word, @gmail.com. Or you may want to reach out to me via WhatsApp, +234 30 sorry, I take it again, +234 80371 58397, +234 80371 58397. Till I come your way again, remain on top always. God bless you.